What is your biggest flex that nobody else knows about? I once farted so bad on a subway that a mom changed her baby's diaper because she thought it was him. Boy, was she confused when she removed the diaper and found no brown. Stepped into my elevator, going down from 5 to 0, had to fart so I did. Elevator stopped at 3 and an old lady stepped in. I thought, oh well, at least it doesn't smell. The doors closed and it hit me. It was foul. The old woman didn't say anything, but when I looked at her I saw a tear roll down her cheek. I'm 45 and retired, never working again. I just tell most people I work from home. I'm 41 and have been working on my push-ups. Today I hit 160. I'm rather happy with myself. I helped a homeless person find a job. Clothes, but when I was roaming the streets drunk I helped a homeless man move his mattress. I'm working on bicycle gears technology where you don't have to think about it or know how it works, you just pedal it, and it compensates with a strange mechanism coupled to a Raspberry Pi. It will be able to give people who ride bikes with partial or full hand disabilities who are already using adaptive interfaces to ride a bike at all the ability to shift gears without input and have a much nicer time riding. It is indexless, so there is no K-chunk sound or feel when the micro shifts occur. It's gonna be awesome. Been working on it for years and I'm really close to fruition. I'm almost 37 and managed to do a one-arm pull-up not too long ago. Nobody knows because my girlfriend doesn't care, and 37 is not the age where you flex silly stuff like this to friends or coworkers anymore. Maybe I'll show my daughter at some point. She's 1 and amazed by most things I do anyway. I'm probably doing the best financially out of all of my friends, so if someone I care about is struggling, I will help them pay bills or gift them some cash. Anonymously if I can, but it's not always possible. I don't want them to pay me back. One time in my 20s, I ding-dong ditched a friend with groceries after she vented on social media that she had no food or money to buy food. I paid the electric bill on a house where I like going to see house shows. My friends are mostly broke creative types who enrich my life with their incredible art and music, and I'm not very talented. I'm over here filling up my bank account with dumb manual labor jobs, so I figure it's a good way to try to return the favor. Obviously most of the people I help know what I did, but I don't talk about it except to strangers online like this. Maybe they will all compare notes at my funeral someday and be like, she paid my rent once when I lost my job. No way. She helped me afford my medication when I was struggling. No way. She bought a bunch of books for my classroom library. She paid to have my accordion fixed when I had a gig. She gave me $500 for my birthday when I was having trouble putting food on the table. You're a beautiful human being. I've been off heroin since 2009. When my girlfriend and I worked at the same bar, I threw a coaster at her like a frisbee. It arced over her and like 20 customers only to land perfectly in the neat stack of other coasters like 50 feet away. It was so fucking cool, but nobody noticed except one customer who I later had to kick out for taking a nap on the bar. No point in telling anybody, but I look back fondly on that moment. Did the school run, a kid fell down the stairs, other parents walked past him, and the kid was crying. I stopped, picked him up, checked him over and walked him to his grandma who was picking him up that day and explained what happened. His mother, who works at the local pharmacy, said he described me to her so she knew it was me. She thanked me and said I made him feel safe when I was helping him. Some people really suck. You are not one of them. Thank you for being there for that kiddo. Pulled $300K equity from house to invest. Now the dividends pay the mortgage in full and the growth outpaces the interest. I think mine would be that my ex's mother, whom I am not close with at all, told me to my face that her son is a horrible father to our daughter, and the only reason she's grown to be the young woman she is today is because of me and my husband raising her, and our influence on her. She finally chose to live with us full-time a year ago due to the constant mental and verbal abuse she was subjected to at his home. I think about it when the times get really tough and he's coming at me with the verbal abuse because he can't get to her anymore. The fact that I wrote the Bluetooth stack and a lot of the current drivers for Android phones. When given the opportunity to, I don't usually choose my own interests over someone else's well-being. I feel like that's pretty flexible. I got a $59,000 bonus last year and paid off both our family cars. saving me a $1,000 a month in car payments. I've paid for 17 meals for people at work this year and only been caught once. My goal is 20 by end of the year. I've mentioned it once or twice when caught that it's just something I do. People at work, while not family, are people I see 40 hours a week day in and day out. If I see you shuffling for your card or cash in line, my card will hit your reader and I'll be gone before you can see who. Number 20, I'm coming for ya. There's a local famous laser tag place that just closed down. I was there on the last day they were open. It was kind of a big deal here, a lot of people showed out for them. I played the very last game that day, and my team won. So I played the last QZR game in the history of the Earth, and I was the number 1 scoring player in the whole game. I can parallel park like a motherfucker. I'm literally the world's foremost expert in an extremely niche field. At one point, I was also declared the world expert on something hyper-specific. I can put an entire banana down my throat without gagging. I am also a straight married man. Damn, you give tips or classes? Asking for a friend, of course. I think my biggest flex that nobody else knows about is every day I try to do a random act of kindness. Sometimes it's buying someone something. Sometimes it's helping someone carry something. They're usually small trivial things that happen as you pass by strangers in life. I don't tell anyone because I never want the praise for doing what I believe we should all do, but I think deep down I know it's fulfilling to do so. I wrote a story that got 7.25k reads on Wattpad. Kurt Vonnegut introduced me to a book reading audience as the smartest woman his biographer ever had in class. I'm a multimillionaire and live modestly so no one has any idea. I once belched so loud that an entire bowling alley on a Friday night came to a halt. In junior high school, my buddy and I used to create Duke Nukem 3D levels. One such level, IRC, it was actually a 3-level pack, had custom sounds and textures. It was pretty damn cool. Uploaded it to some forum or something and sorta forgot about it. A few months later we get an email from a guy in England. Says he copped our level on an issue of PC Gamer magazine and thought it was awesome. We were like, what? Didn't know about this. Bought a copy and no level. Emailed him back and said, maybe it was only on the version here in England, and he offered to mail it to us. A few weeks later, sure enough, this edition of PC Gamer UK, complete with CD, shows up in the mail and lo and behold, buried in some extras folder on there was our level. I finished 2 chapsticks. I somehow found the courage to talk to the most beautiful woman I've ever met, despite me usually chickening out 99% of the time. To be able to hype myself up and seem like super happy person 24/7 to people around me, when in reality I sometimes wish I'd never woke up. Shit, ditto. Every damn day. It's 1:11 p.m. here and I'm in bed under my electric blanket trying to distract myself from the shitstorm that life is now. You are not alone, hugs. I took my kid to learn to ride a bike. Group class. I was the only adult man there in a group of 30-some kids with their moms and a handful of female instructors. My kid needed her training wheels taken off and nobody was able to get the bolt off. I offered to try and while the whole group watched and waited I managed to snap the wrench clean in half. There was an audible gasp from a dozen people watching. I apologized profusely to the instructors for breaking their wrench. With just this funny look of shock on their faces they assured me it was okay. My daughter immediately starts bragging to other kids. That's my dad! I felt like the strongest man in the world and the looks I got from all the moms the rest of that afternoon didn't go unnoticed. Thank you old tired weekend wrench for the ego boost and briefly making me look like a superhero to my kid, ha ha ha. I have my grandfather's key to the city hanging above my couch. My biggest unknown flex is that I've read at least 1 book a week since I bought my own place at age 25. I'm 33 now. I've kept track and in the last 8 years I've read 447 books. I would never tell anyone this though. It's mortifying to even think about. I'd probably die from the pretension. I work from home which helps a lot, and I also am very introverted. My wife makes fun of me for being a nerd with a book always in my hand, but I know she secretly loves that I'm either working on a DIY project or reading because I'm always around if she needs me but I never bother her either, lol. I've donated over 17 gallons of blood. No one other than my wife knows that. Donating blood regularly, too. I am an AB+, compatible. Pulled a couple of people out of a burning house. Left when I saw the firefighters coming up the road. Nobody knows except my wife, who asked why I smelled so smoky. I once stopped a woman from being assaulted in a parking lot while dozens of other people looked on and did nothing. Also, I returned a wallet with a lot of cash in it and took nothing. Guy didn't offer a reward or even say thank you. My uncle returned a wallet as a kid and the guy counted the cash and told him he was lucky it was all still there. Uncle was okay with not getting paid, but a thank you rather than suspicion would have been nice. After that, he wished he had taken it all. My wife and I work full-time jobs, average 40 hours each. She works in tech as department director and I am a junior superintendent at a construction company. I make around $100K a year, and she makes so much more than I do that I've taken the last couple months to only work part-time, like a couple hours a day, so that I can recoup. My company had to drop 2 massive jobs because the clients are behind on their bills, so we are kind of slow. Everyone thinks that I'm hurting for work and I kind of meekly nod and smile because my wife doesn't want anyone to know how much she makes. Not even her parents or my parents know how much she makes. Honestly, it's kind of disgusting how much people in tech make. But I'm not complaining. I'm finishing an oak dining room table that I've been working on for a couple weeks. What is your biggest flex? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.